Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. And when we last left off, we had just started Case 4, so we're close-ish to the end-ish. I mean, we still have one more case after this, but we just started it, and Apollo Justice is very angry, as you can see from this start screen that doesn't show you anything. So let's go and continue. So anyway, we'll go from slot 2. Load this data, yes please. And we were cross-examining Detective Fulbright, and I believe we pressed the first 2. So now let's go to continue from here. Thankfully, only 2 astronauts were in the launch pad 1 at the time. Are you sure it was only 2 of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence!
The notion of a third party in Launch Pad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area of the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device, and allow me to stay up front that precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and I'm just having flashbacks to case 3-2, was it? Was 3-2 the one with not Madangard, with Rhonda Light? Was that case 2-3? No, 3-2. Yeah, that was 3-2 because 3-3 was the one with Furio Tigre. The director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos, not to confuse with Yuri Lowenthal or Yuri Lowell, who was voiced by Troy Baker. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job directly in the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. Launchpad 1 door lock added to the court record. Launchpad 1 door lock. A biometric door lock operated by fingerprint recognition. Only the defendant, the victim, and the Space Center director had access. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. So, while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it! In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Tarrant could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. And he was the first to find the victim. Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm, of which you remember in Case 1, she was the victim. Remember? One of them was a detective! Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice Denny. Foolish is the way he rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerge from the bowels of the launch pad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Okie dokie then. Now, direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. Which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. Well, it's kind of dark, so you can't really see any stab wounds or anything. Like, it's shot at such an angle that it's purposely casting a shadow over her stomach, so... What? L10015R. Yes, that is the same bomb. Yeah, it is the same bomb case as in case 1. Because I remember asking that question. I got a snide, sort of passive-aggressive response from Phoenix Edge. Like, okay, yeah, I was just making sure. I figured it was the same one because this is supposed to tie directly to case 1. For some reason, I was struggling to figure out whether this took place just before case 1 or just after, but it wouldn't have made sense that this took place just after, because Apollo left right after, right at the end of case 1, but I don't know. Anyway, just one of those things. Order! Order, I say! This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Security camera video added to the court record. Video showing the defendant victim's escape from the corridor to the boarding lounge. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at this point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Chandler is still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Denny. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge, after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
Is it a horse with no name, though? I swear, that song has... If they ever make an anime adaptation of Part 7 of JoJo, that has to be the ending song. If it's not, I'm going to be very mad. But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well,
Hold it!
Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just... there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes! You have 10 seconds? Yeah, 5 seconds. I knew it was gonna be something like that. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds?! After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and the verdict to be rendered. Well, I mean, assuming we're going off of JoJo time here, 5 seconds is a lot of time, right? Like, 5 seconds when you pause time with the with stand power, that's a lot of time. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh, ready. We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds.
Look! I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete.
Meaning
There's something missing. Like, they conveniently left it unexplained.
Something they didn't explain. Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. I realized that I probably didn't have to read it so rushed, but I felt, because, it's video game 5 seconds, so, it's not really 5 seconds, but, I like to pretend that, 5 seconds in real time. Although, I think I went over 5 seconds, didn't I? That was probably, 12 seconds. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There's 3 more seconds. They said all that in 3 seconds. I highly doubt they did that. There's something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way, what is it that the prosecution has failed to explain? Why the body was moved, the motive for murder. Well, the body was moved. Oh, did they explain that? They didn't explain the motive. Wait, no, hold on. We're trying to say that. Wait. Let's not be an idiot. Let's go back to the whatchamacallit. You said they conveniently left it unexplained. I know is there anything in the breast? Yeah, I want to say that it's the motive. They didn't quite explain the motive for murder, right? Because I don't know, it's been a week since the last recording session, although it's been 2 days since I edited that video, so it's not that out of my mind, but yeah, the motive for murder. I think, right? Wrong. I figured. The prosecution hasn't explained the defendant's motive yet, have they? But didn't they just explain? Did they? That Mr. Chairman was a threat to the success of the bombing, so he had to be disposed of. Wait, when did they say that? I don't... No, wait, time out, Your Honor. Time out, Mr. Justice. This is hardly a sporting event. That didn't score me any points. Time to put my game face on. What is it that the prosecution has failed to explain why the body was moved? I thought they explained that, though. They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thought on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposed that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. Ah! Cut down so quickly. Fulbright, explain to our sad friend here before I gnaw off his monotone monologue. Inform me exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? I gotta be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. One man carrying the victim other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his harmony act were meant to be blown up. Yes, now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion. There's a third one, ooh. And actually, technically, they only weigh about 200 pounds when they're on the surface of the Earth. If they were on the moon, their mass would be the same, but because the moon's gravity is much less, they end up weighing a lot less because, you know, your weight is the exertion of gravity. Anyway.
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion!
Silence.
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. There's still a coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. Actually, I just thought of something, actually. So, here's the thing. So, this case takes place before case 1, right? Athena already ran into Blackwell in this one. But but in case 2, when Blackwell was first revealed in game, she was acting like this is the first time that she had run into him in like 1,000 years. Because I'm thoroughly convinced that Blackwell is related to her past somehow when she had that traumatic thing where she was on the witness stand or whatever, and there's blood and stuff. So it's, I don't know. We used to transport the deactivated bomb here. Just a minor plot hole, I think. Or maybe I'm looking too much into it. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. Guilty.
What?
We're on the second floor of the main building. One on the launch pad and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the threat was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and the other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Gah! Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic. Wait, no, hold on. Wait. Okay, I thought it was smart for a second until I realized that actually case 1 takes place after case 2. Yeah, that's right. Okay, it's case 2, 3, no, 2, no, case 2, DLC, not to be confused with DL6, 3, 4, 1, 5. Right. I was getting them all mixed up. As I stand undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item is found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arm stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble brain that he is. No, Mr. Starbuck could never do anything like that. Justice Denny, open your eyes and say the truth. Oh, there's a piece kind of hot with one of them, isn't it? This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set up this explosion. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it. You believe in your client, come what may. Then why didn't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has gotta be a trap.
It's like Black was controlling the entire game.
Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body-moving issue.
Why do you say that?
Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve, too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down.
Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan, too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him.
Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself.